Good morning, welcome to Furry and Spoilt. I'm doing a series of videos about homemade dog food made easy. I know how daunting it is because I was there. You're worried that you're not going to get the nutrients right, that you're not going to provide your dog with what he needs. But I'm doing it and have been doing it for many years, and my dogs are all healthy and they're calm. And they are not dogs that have come from, the best of the best, so they're naturally going to be healthy. They're not. They're all really bad trauma cases, and they all are predisposed to illness, and yet homemade food, they're all doing really well. So in this video I'm going to tell you what meat, fruits and vegetables I use, and then in the next video I'm going to tell you how much to cook for your dog, and then in the third video I'm going to go in detail with you over the supplements and how much of the supplements you need. So to start, I'm going to show you the meats that I use. So the first is frozen chicken breast. So I just get chicken breast fillets frozen when I do my food shopping, Tesco or Asda. The next is turkey mince. It must be 2% fat because turkey can sometimes be 7% fat, and that's too fattening. If that is the only turkey you can get hold of, then cook it in a pan with water and then pour the water away, and that will remove the fat. But ideally, I always get the 2% one, and I get that from Aldi. The next one is salmon. I get salmon fillets just frozen, again when I do my food shopping, just in the frozen section. The next is liver. I don't go too heavy on liver because it can make some dogs' digestive system not good. Some dogs just don't react so great to it because it's very rich. So what I do is I get a packet of it. I use chicken liver, but you can use any dog's liver, any animal's liver, but I use chicken liver. Cook it all up, put it into little bags, and then once a week I give them a little bag of liver each, and that's the meats and the fish that I feed my dogs. So in a minute I'm going to go through the list of vegetables and fruit. Let me just show you this first. So this is a batch that I'm cooking up of vegetables and fruit. There's such a mix in there, there's such beautiful colours, and I'm just boiling it down into sort of a mush for them. And in this next dish I'm just cooking some chicken. So now I cook my meat and vegetables. Sometimes I do it in the oven, sometimes I do it on the hob. But to keep this simple, cook all of your meat or your fish, just boil it on the hob, and cook your veg and fruit on the hob. Keeps it simple. Drain away the water, and then you've drained away any excess fat. That keeps that nice and simple. Because dogs have so much more meat than they do veg, this veg I will batch up, freeze up. That will last me for ages. The meat, that meat will only probably last me a couple of days because I've got 3 dogs, and they do have to have so much more meat than veg. But I'll tell you the exact amounts in the next video. So let me now tell you the fruit and the veggies that I use. Something I just want to add in: when you're cooking your vegetables, you need to have enough water in there so that they're cooking and they're softening down. But you do not want to throw the water away, because that is where all the real nutrients and all the loveliness has gone. So you need to put as less water in so that you can keep the water, so that you end up with a sort of a mushy, mashy type thing that does still have some water left in it. Because you don't want to put so much water in that you've got to throw water away, because that's where the nutrients and the minerals are going to be going into that water. So the first thing I use is courgettes. Now I buy courgettes fresh because I can get them quite cheap. So I buy them fresh. Peppers, you can buy green, yellow, green peppers. I don't get them fresh because I can't get them that cheap, and they go off quite quick. I buy them frozen. Pound gives you a big bag of chopped peppers in the frozen section. Pak choy, I use that fresh, buy that fresh for them. Kale. Now kale, sometimes it can come in bags where it's all chopped up. That isn't the one to use because the stalks just you have to cook them for so long to get them soft. So I don't do that. I buy big bags of kale, and then I strip the kale off the stalks, and that cooks up nice and quick for them, and that's so good for them. The same with spring greens. Now spinach I buy in a tin, nice and cheap, nice and easy, just tin spinach. Sweet potatoes I buy frozen. You can buy it chunked up, so you haven't got to peel it, you haven't got to cut it. It's so easy, so cheap. Just chuck in some sweet potato. Bananas, I give them a couple of slices of banana every lunchtime because it's great for potassium. Now cranberries I buy dried, and then I just soak them in some water for a while. They plump up, and then I scatter some of them over some of their dinners. Raspberries, strawberries and blueberries I buy frozen, pound a bag, nice and frozen, no waste, nice and simple, chuck a handful in when I'm doing their cooking. And celery. Sometimes I'll get celery and chop that into there, and sometimes I'll scatter pumpkin seeds onto their food. The important thing is that no meal would contain all of that, and you don't need to do that. So sometimes I'll do a dish where they've got some of those vegetables, and then the next batch that I do, they'll have a different kind of vegetables, a different kind of fruit. It's all very varied, and the reason that's important is because naturally they would never eat all this business of dog food being a complete balanced diet. That isn't how dogs would eat it isn't how they eat in the wild. They eat a bit of one thing one day, a bit of another thing another day, and it's the same with us. We don't get all of our nutrients, all of our vitamins in one meal. We get it over a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks sometimes. And it's the same with dogs. They need it over a varied time. So I kind of maybe go over 2 weeks, and in any 2 weeks I give them a selection of the stuff that I've just mentioned. So don't be thinking I've got to get all that, because you haven't. So you could do one batch that is just spinach, courgette and some strawberries. The next batch could be sweet potato, raspberries and pak choy. So you don't need to be putting all of that into one meal. And the other thing is, I can see why people would think it could get expensive. It's cheaper for me to feed my dogs this way than on dog food. And I'm not going to get any vet's bill, because they're really healthy and they're not getting ill. So that is what to feed them in the meat and the fruit and the veg. In the next video, I'm going to show you how much to feed them. If you have got any questions about this, don't hesitate. I've been doing this for years, researching dog nutrition. It doesn't scare me anymore. So any questions at all, just pop them into comments and I will answer them for you.